I forgot to explain in the last video what the stone does. So the stone is basically kind of a long liquidity stone. Basically, it can heal any sickness. Well, it seems to be able to heal any sickness, can bring someone back to their youth, and help someone's convention or martial arts hit the sky highs. Basically, it's kind of a magical OP stone, a very OP stone. So we get another scene that kind of reminds me of 1,000 Autumns. The scene where the main character saves the male lead from the other martial artist, you know, the group of martial artists that tries to kill the male lead. Yes, there's another scene where there's a group of people trying to kill the main character in this, but the male lead is just sitting in the sidelines being like, until the attackers try attacking him and he has to try to defend himself. But again, he's a sickly person, so there's not much he can do to physically defend himself. But I was like, oh my god, this is such a 1,000 Autumns scene. I was squealing. I was like, yes! So this scene had me laughing. So the main character had fallen off a cliff, and honestly, the male lead was just going to let him die. And then be like, I can take the credit for this job. My department can take the credit. But the main character went, I'm still here. And the male lead goes, fucking damn it! So the male lead goes to help the main character. But he's like, I will pull you up as long as you promise something. And the main character's like, okay, I'll give you back your freedom. And the male lead's like, no, I can. Thinking is that I can say myself. I don't need you to free me. Bitch, please. Say daddy 3 times. And I was like, oh yeah. Say it. And like, the main character was going to do it, but his pride wasn't fully going to let him. Also because it would have put them in danger if they stayed hanging off that cliff too long. He was able to find some like alcove to drag himself into, because there was an alcove somewhere around in this cliff area to drag himself and in the main character into it. But like, also while they're in the alcove, the people trying to hunt down the main character to kill him, they're trying to have to stay quiet. And honestly, this scene was reminding me of the scene in Ballad of Sword and Wine, where, you know, the main character had the male lead pinned down to the ground and their attackers were trying to find them and kill them, and he had to keep the male lead quiet and was sitting on top of the male lead's you-know-what, and the male lead was kind of getting you-know-what for the main character. Yeah, this scene was reminding me of it, but less horny. But for some reason my mind remembered that scene. We know as the readers that the main character had already figured out the male lead's true identity, but the male lead finally tells the main character his true identity and why him and his subordinates are even in that area. They're not on the same case that the main character was on. Like, they're supposed to basically make alliance dealings with another country, and that country is supposed to come there and speak with the male lead, because there's a war going on between their country and small little the Gortorks, and some of the little groups want, you know, little tribes, they want to, you know, isolate themselves from them and become one, basically ally, stop the war. And the male lead is there to be the figurehead, the one to speak with the group that's coming to talk alliance. I tried my best to explain it. I probably did not explain it very well. But yeah, that is why the male lead's there. That's why his people are there. That's why he's been there for 2 months and taken a whole different identity. But with the case appearing, he was like, you know what? Me and my people can just take this case from the main character after he fell. He also reveals to the main character that he'd been pulling the strings this entire time. Him and his people has been pulling the main character around by his nose this entire time, getting him to go one direction while they went the other direction, solving the case. Making the main character look like a dumbass, and I love it. I love it. My male lead dragging the main character around by his nose, pulling the strings from the back. Like, I absolutely love that. Also, the main character, the male lead doesn't give his actual real identity. The male lead doesn't give his true identity. He says the name of one of his subordinates, and the main character goes, I know this guy. I already met him. And the male lead goes, no, you didn't. That was a double. That wasn't the real me. But sooner or later, the main character's like, this is your real identity. Come on, tell the truth. Also, the main character gets back at the male lead on getting him to say daddy 3 times. He gets the male lead to call him daddy 3 times. To save the male lead's life, he makes the male lead say daddy 3 times. They're both going back and forth, making the other one say daddy. He also puts a wording on the male lead's head when the male lead was passed out, basically an oath, a blood tie, that states that the male lead owes him a life debt, which involves kind of saying daddy. Damn, are they gonna have a weird daddy kink in this story? I'm just saying. Also, the people trying to kill the main character is actually trying to kill the male lead, because the male lead is the one doing the dealings, the alliance dealings, and they get rid of him so the alliance dealing doesn't happen. Yeah, they need to get rid of him. But they mistook the main character for him because, the main character's kind of brash. He's like the male lead in Thousand Autumns, kind of peacock-like, very peacock-like. Well, our little male lead is a fox, a quiet, sickly fox. So no one's going to notice a quiet, sickly fox, but they're going to know a brash, loud peacock, making sure all his peacock feathers are being seen worldwide, because he does. He spends a good portion of this entire time flaunting his peacock feather.